I figured out the release date of this season's tournaments, such as Cash Cups and many other tournaments. Now you might think I'm crazy, but yo, I did some insane math and research. This literally took hours. But I managed to get the exact release date of Cash Cups. And of course all the other tournaments like the Hype Nights. So make sure you drop a like and subscribe because I will be covering those tournaments when they do come out, including the formats, the prize pools, and even how to win the tournaments. So trust me, you don't want to miss those videos. Make sure you are subscribed. But okay, now let's jump in to this insane analysis I did. Let's go. So the main factors I used is the Season 4 release dates, Season 4 FNCS, and Season 4 Cash Cup announcement dates. As we can see right here, these are a lot of the last season's tournaments, like the Hype Cups, the Hype Nights, Dream Hacks, Cash Cups, and way more. But of course, we don't know the tournaments for this season. Well, no worries, I got you. Season 5 was released on December 2nd. Now some of the confirmed tournaments we have is the Season 5 FNCS, which is on February 4th, as you can see in this post right here. And then of course we have the Dream Hack, and now this month it is gonna be way different. It's gonna be starting way later on January 22nd, and the way it works is gonna be different from all the other months. I am making a video on that right now. Again, make sure you are subscribed. And by the way, this tournament is gonna be in duos. And now let's talk about the unreleased tournaments. So this is where the most important information comes in. From Season 4 release dates, we had to wait 5.5 weeks until the actual FNCS started, which was on October 8th. Now from Season 5 release date, we have to wait 8 weeks until the actual FNCS, which is again on February 4th. Now this is a huge portion of my equation, if you want to call it that, because I did some insane math, as I will show you in a second. And also before the FNCS, there was something called the FNCS warm-up, which was 2 weeks before the FNCS. So around January 21st, we could expect the FNCS warm-up to take place. But what about the Cash Cups? After Season 4's release date, we had to wait 2.5 weeks until the Cash Cups came out. So for Season 5, we don't know how much time we have to wait for those. Or do we? Well, at the end of this video, we will figure out the exact amount of time we have to wait from the season start until the Cash Cups actually start. And of course, with that, we will know the exact date of those Cash Cups. And by the way, once we know the dates of those Cash Cups, we will be able to figure out all the other tournaments, such as the Hype Nights or the Hype Cups. So for example, the Hype Nights were 1 week before those Cash Cups started. And also, we had the Wild Wednesdays, which was 1 day after the Cash Cups. So finally, let's go over how to actually figure this out. Okay, so the main factors are the amount of time we had to wait until the FNCS and also until the Cash Cups. So I did 2.5 weeks plus 5.5 weeks, and you divide it by 2 to get an average of 4 weeks. So those 4 weeks represent the average time we had to wait for the Cash Cups and the FNCS to come out during last season. If this is all confusing, don't worry, it will all make sense at the end. Alright, so now the difference between this season's FNCS and last season's FNCS is that we have to wait 3.5 weeks more for the FNCS to actually come out. We have to wait 8 weeks this season, and last season it was 5.5. So that is a difference of 3.5. So now you take those 4 weeks that we got in the first equation, then you add those 3.5 weeks, which would equal 7.5. Now this might get a little crazy, but just stay with me. So that 7.5 is the average time we have to wait between the FNCS and the Cash Cups. Alright boys, now this is all coming together. Since we know the average time we have to wait for this season and also how much time we have to wait for the FNCS, we can figure out how much time we have to wait for those Cash Cups to come out. So you do x plus 8 over 2 to get an average of 7.5. So now with this equation, we can solve for x, which is super easy to do. So if you're confused, which you probably are, here's what I just did. In the first equation, I got the average time we had to wait between the FNCS and the Cash Cups in Season 4. So now the second equation is the same thing, but for Season 5. It is the average time between the season's release date and the amount of time we had to wait until the Cash Cups and the FNCS. And because we have to wait 3.5 weeks more for this FNCS, we simply added 3.5 to that 4. Alright, so doing some basic algebra, we simply divide 7.5 by 2. So now we get this equation right here, x plus 8 equals 3.75. And now we simply solve for x by subtracting that 8 from 3.75. So for x, which is again, x is the amount of time we have to wait from season's release date until the Cash Cups, would equal 4.25. So all of this is in weeks, which means we have to wait 4.25 weeks for the cash cups to come out. Now again, remember, this is 4.25 weeks from the season's start, aka December 2nd. So that is basically a month. So with this, we can get the exact dates for the season 5 cash cups. Again, season 5 released on December 2nd. So a month and a few days, that would be around January 6th when the cash cups are going to be coming out. Hopefully you're not too confused about this. So as I mentioned, since we know the cash cup dates, we can know the exact Hype Night dates, Wild Wednesday dates, and so many more tournaments. So last season Hype Nights were 1 week before the cash cups, which means that season 5 Hype Nights might be around December 31st or at the very start of January. Now we might or might not see Wild Wednesdays come back, but as you can see in this post, they said we're putting together a schedule featuring more weekly tournaments, unique tournaments, and Twitter cups throughout the year. So there's definitely going to be something in addition to the cash cups. It might be Wild Wednesdays or it might be something else, so we'll have to wait and see, but those should come out 1 day after the cash cups, according to last season. By the way, make sure to use code AUTOCLICK in the item shop if your mind is blown. Now for the other tournaments like the Creator Cups, well, that's pretty much unpredictable. There's no way to predict the days for those tournaments. But as an example, during season 4, it took 2 months and 1 week for the first Creator Cup to be announced, which was the Lachlan's Cup, and the first Random Cup, which was the Daredevil Cup, took 1 month and 2 weeks to be announced. So we might see the same pattern or we might not. That is pretty much unpredictable. Of course, remember, this is all speculation. It might not be true. The tournaments might be announced tomorrow, but this is the most likely scenario to happen. But what we do know for sure is that Trios is going to be the main game mode of not just this season, but the whole 2021. So I would highly recommend getting a good trio for this whole year. Or maybe even 2022 as well, you never know. So if you do need a good trio, just comment down below and someone will probably find you. It is so important to get a solid trio this year especially. But of course, again, there's gonna be way more tournaments than just trios, as they said right here. And as for the daily cups, well, honestly, I don't see them bringing them back. The daily cups would be going on right now if they were a thing in season 5. And of course, as we all know, the 2021 World Cup has been cancelled. But hey boys, 2022 is most likely gonna have a World Cup, so don't give up. So these few weeks are gonna be pretty boring without any tournaments. But I would recommend playing Arena with a trio or even solo to prepare for all those tournaments coming up. That is the best way to practice as of right now. So this video did take super long to make, so if you could drop a like and of course subscribe if you haven't already. Because as I mentioned, I will be covering all of the tournaments that will be coming out, and you don't want to miss those. And then lastly, if you could use code AUTOCLICK in the item shop to pay respect for all the brain cells I lost during this process, I would highly appreciate it. But that is gonna be the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching, peace out, and bye bye.